The island of Menorca, a jewel in the Balearic archipelago, holds a profound and ancient secret within its rugged landscapes. Scattered across this Spanish island are enigmatic stone monuments that have puzzled historians and archaeologists for centuries. These structures, known as Taulas, are a testament to a prehistoric civilization shrouded in mystery, the Taulas culture. The central question that echoes through the ages is about the true purpose of these colossal formations. Were they sophisticated altars for ancient worship, or were they formidable structures designed for defense? A taula consists of two massive limestone slabs, forming a distinct shape that stands against the sky. A vertical, rectangular pillar, often several meters high, supports a horizontal lintel stone placed carefully on top. The sheer scale of these monuments is staggering, with some reaching heights of over 4 meters. The supporting pillars themselves can weigh many tons, a feat of engineering for their time. These T-shaped icons are always found within a U-shaped enclosure of cyclopean walls. The entrance to this sacred precinct was typically marked by a doorway, creating a formal approach. The dominant theory posits that these enclosures were religious sanctuaries. Archaeological excavations within these precincts have unearthed compelling evidence supporting this view. Remains of animal bones, particularly from goats and sheep, suggest sacrificial offerings. These bones often show signs of being burned, indicating their use in fire rituals. Shards of pottery, once containing wine or other liquids, have been found in abundance. This points towards ceremonial libations or feasts being a core part of the activities. One of the most significant finds was a bronze statuette of a bull, discovered at Unravel. This has led many to believe in the existence of a bovine deity or a bull cult. The bull was a potent symbol of strength and fertility in many ancient Mediterranean cultures. This connection is strengthened by the theory that Menorca's first inhabitants may have had ties to Crete. Furthermore, the orientation of the Taulas themselves provides another layer to the worship theory. A majority of these monuments are aligned towards the south. This suggests a deliberate connection to celestial events or bodies. Some researchers propose they were aligned with the moon's cycles, acting as a prehistoric calendar. Tracking lunar phases would have been vital for agriculture and scheduling rituals. Another fascinating hypothesis links the Taulas to the constellation Centaurus. This constellation, including the bright star Alpha Centauri, would have been visible from Menorca thousands of years ago. The alignment might have been used for navigation or held deep mythological significance. A more recent interpretation suggests the Taulas functioned as symbolic doorways. They were seen as a gateway connecting the world of the living with the realm of the gods. This theory draws parallels between the U-shaped sanctuary and the layout of later domestic houses. The Taula itself would represent the symbolic heart of this divine house. Adding another dimension, some artifacts suggest a healing function for the site. The discovery of an Egyptian faience figurine of Imhotep is particularly telling. Imhotep was a revered Egyptian deity associated with medicine and healing. A bronze horse hoof, a symbol linked to the Greek god of medicine Asclepius, was also found. This implies that people may have traveled to the Taulas seeking cures for their ailments. The sanctuary might have been a place of hope and divine intervention for the sick. This healing aspect could also be connected to the proposed celestial alignments. In stark contrast to this wealth of evidence for worship, the defense theory stands on much weaker ground. The argument for a defensive purpose is largely based on the monumental size of the structures. Proponents suggest they could have served as elevated watchtowers. From such a vantage point, one could theoretically spot approaching enemies from land or sea. The thick cyclopean walls of the enclosure could also be interpreted as defensive barriers. However, the fundamental design of the Taulas sanctuary contradicts a military function. The U-shaped enclosure is open and wide, making it incredibly difficult to defend. A true fortress would have a narrow, easily defensible entrance, not a welcoming opening. The central Taula monument itself offers no practical defensive advantage. It provides minimal cover and is not a stable platform for combat. Furthermore, the Talaiotic people already had dedicated defensive structures. The Talaiots are large, cone-shaped towers built from massive stones, true fortresses of their time. These towers were strategically placed for surveillance and protection of settlements. The clear distinction in design between a Talaiot and a Taula sanctuary is critical. One is clearly built for war, the other for ritual. No weapons or signs of battle have been found concentrated within the Taula enclosures. The artifacts consistently point to a peaceful, ceremonial purpose. The construction itself, while massive, may have been more about demonstrating devotion than power. Building such a monument was a communal effort, likely spanning generations. This shared project would have strengthened social and religious bonds within the community. Therefore, the enigma of the Taulas seems to resolve more towards a complex spiritual center. They were not silent stone sentinels, but vibrant hubs of ancient life. They served as church, calendar, hospital, and community hall, all in one. The defense of the people was left to the more practical and formidable Talaiots. Today, the 31 remaining Taulas on Menorca stand as a powerful legacy. They are a unique window into a prehistoric European culture. Their sheer presence continues to inspire awe and wonder. The stones remain silent, but the evidence they hold speaks volumes. They speak of a people deeply connected to their environment and the cosmos. The great T structures were not for warfare, but for the profound mysteries of life, death, and the divine. The vertical stone represented the connection between the earth and the sky. The horizontal stone represented the realm of the gods or the celestial plane. Fire rituals at the base would have illuminated the monument dramatically at night. The community would gather within the enclosure to witness these sacred rites. Priests or shamans likely orchestrated these complex ceremonies. The acoustics within the U-shaped enclosure might have amplified chants or prayers. This would have created a powerful and immersive spiritual experience for attendees. The effort to quarry and transport these stones was a monumental undertaking. They likely used natural fissures in the rock to extract the enormous slabs. Moving the stones would have required immense manpower and clever logistics. The final placement of the capstone would have been a moment of great triumph. This act symbolized the completion of their connection to the divine. Conversely, a defensive wall would have been built to be fully enclosing. The Taula's opening is a feature, not a flaw, when viewed as a ceremonial entrance. The lack of any military-grade rubble or remnants of battle is telling. Defensive sites from the period are typically littered with sling stones and other projectiles. The Taula sites lack this specific type of archaeological fingerprint. The positioning of Taulas does not always correspond to the most strategic defensive locations. They are often found near fertile land, suggesting a connection to agricultural prosperity. This reinforces their role in rituals for good harvests and community well-being. The debate, while leaning heavily one way, highlights our fascination with these structures. They challenge our understanding of prehistoric capabilities and beliefs. Each Taula is unique, with slight variations in size and construction. This suggests they were built by different communities, each with their own resources. The largest Taula, at Toralba d'Onsalo, is a masterpiece of prehistoric architecture. Its capstone is perfectly balanced and has remained in place for over 3 millennia. The resilience of these monuments through thousands of years is remarkable. They have witnessed the rise and fall of empires from a distance. The Roman conquest of the Balearic Islands marked the end of the Taulas culture. Yet, their most sacred monuments endured, holding their secrets. Modern science continues to unlock new information from these ancient stones. Geological analysis can trace the limestone slabs back to their original quarries. This helps map the incredible effort undertaken by the ancient builders. Spiritual significance likely outweighed any practical military considerations. A place of worship is designed to be open to the heavens. A fortress is designed to be close to the enemy. This fundamental difference in design philosophy is the most compelling argument. The Taulas were monuments to faith, not fear. They represent a society aspiring to connect with forces larger than itself. The mystery that remains is not if they were places of worship, but how exactly. What specific gods did they revere under the sign of the bull? What chants echoed within those hallowed, U-shaped walls? What constellations did they trace from the foot of their stone giants? These are the questions that continue to drive research and fire the imagination. The enigma has shifted from function to the fine details of faith. The defense theory, while intriguing, ultimately crumbles under the weight of evidence. The worship theory, however, is built upon a solid foundation of archaeological fact. The Taulas of Menorca are sacred stages, not silent fortresses. Their purpose was to elevate the spirit, not to repel invaders. The ancient builders crafted these monuments with immense care and precision. The joints between the stones are often remarkably tight and well-fitted. This level of craftsmanship speaks to the structure's immense importance. Temporary defensive structure would likely not have received such detailed attention. The choice of location was also symbolic, not just strategic. Many Taulas command a view of the landscape, not for defense, but for presence. They were meant to be seen from all around, as a constant reminder of the sacred. The communities invested their identity into these stone symbols. Losing a Taula would have been a spiritual catastrophe, not just a tactical loss. The surrounding Taulas with the community's shield, the Taula was its soul. This duality of function is common in many ancient societies. The sacred and the secular, the sword and the spirit, had their own distinct places. Taula's enduring mystery is a gift to history. It forces us to look beyond simple explanations for complex ancient societies. They were not primitive people, but sophisticated builders with a deep spiritual life. Their legacy, written in stone, proves this beyond any doubt.